families breaking up and all of these things are happening. It took a while to work through, to forgive the situation, to forgive her and her family, to forgive myself. But once it happened, it released, I don't know, it just allowed me to deal with everything else, because I wasn't so focused on, this reality that I had created for myself of the way that you view yourself based on actions, right? And so some of the agreements that he talks about in there are, not taking it personally, and then not making assumptions. But we do that a lot of times with ourselves, right? We judge ourselves based on every single act or every single thought, as opposed to that happened, that thought happened, now it's time to move on and become better. And we live so much in the past. And so this allows you to kind of bring power back into your hands and move forward, right? And I don't know if that was incredibly convoluted, if it made any kind of sense. Forgiveness is powerful for each individual in their own way. Your experience with it's going to be different than others. And one of the things that he talks about in there with awareness and forgiveness and everything else is, you connecting with whatever you need to connect with. Now, if that is God, if it is Allah, if it is, a great spirit, if it is the universe, if it is none of those things and just something bigger than yourself, there's a power in forgiveness and achieving it that way. Right? Does that?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
So I hope that kind of, if anything, guys, I kind of talked about this yesterday, but, becoming aware and understanding that you've got the power to control every situation. You've got the power to control, the way that you hear things, how you react to them, what's going on in your life. Own that. Yeah, David, forgiveness absolutely cleanses the soul. And the more in control you are of your decisions, the more you understand you're in control of your decisions, the more power you have going forward. Right? So if you guys missed that, the recording should be there. And I'll get the updated here. Let me get the updated slides for you guys. Just do that now. So totally different pathway today. All right. A little bit lighter. What I wanted to do, guys, I wanted to talk just a little bit. So I've had a couple of conversations recently, people asking about Facebook, and is Facebook going to continue working because of this change? And, should I use this platform? Should I use that platform? So I wanted to talk about I just wanted to look at social media in general. And I know you guys understand. I mean, you're here, hey, there's an opportunity online to generate revenue. Well, what's the best way to do that? I get that question a lot. What's the best niche? What's the best way to generate revenue? Where should I focus? And there's so many different ways to do that. I got carrying a heavy burden for years is something that it will weigh you down, right? It's oftentimes the only thing keeping us back, guys, are ourselves, right? It's not our significant other who isn't supporting us. It's not the kids that aren't supporting us. It's not our parents that did this or did that. And yes, some of that has created the reality that we're in. But at the time that we allow ourselves to believe in our hearts, yes, I chose this. I'm choosing to hold on to it. When you let that go, that's when you gain some freedom and some power. So, can we talk about just social media in general? Are we good with that for a little bit? I want to talk about the different platforms. I want to help you guys kind of see what's going on. And we're going to look at that from how do I create my brand perspective, right?
Yes, please.
What do I do with myself? How do I create my brand? Where can I go? What's going to be the best thing for me? What's going to be the best thing for my niche? And now as we go through this, we're going to look at some of the key social media platforms because yes, this funnel works exceptionally well on Facebook, but guess what? There are other social media platforms. And part of what you do in general is build up your own credibility, build up your own network, build up your own following, right? So in order to do that, where do we go? What do we do? How do we do it? Why does this platform or that platform make sense? But I also want you guys to see the overall size and depth of these platforms because I don't think we realize it, right? How many people? All right, so here, let me just kind of dive in. We're going to talk a little bit about the brand. We're going to move back and forth on a couple of these things. I'm going to talk about these ones. I'm also going to talk a little bit about TikTok. But here's a couple of things to remember, guys. And I guess I can make this bigger. A lot of different ways to create a personal brand. I like that. That too big? Too big. All right. Facebook's still the biggest platform on the planet. Amazing targeting. If you're running ads, absolutely fantastic. It's the most sophisticated tool for advertisers. Like hands down. It's not even close. Facebook's got the best, despite the fact that they change things, the algorithm, things are modified all of the time. Facebook, hands down, the best platform for targeting and advertising. Okay. LinkedIn. Almost 750 million people on there, and they're all focused on business. That's why they're there. YouTube, second biggest search engine on the planet. Do you guys know that? Second biggest search engine on the planet. Yahoo, Bing, like they wish they had the volume that YouTube does. Okay, so no matter what your niche is, no matter what's going on, YouTube has an audience. Instagram is a great method if you can create kind of that visual element. Okay, great footage on Instagram stories. We're going to talk a little bit about each of those. All right, now, somebody commented on here. Once you know what you're doing. But don't let that hold you back. So I am over the course of the next couple. So later this week, I want to say Friday, we're going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. But next couple of weeks too, we're going to get a little bit more in depth on YouTube. We're going to talk a little bit more about Facebook. We'll talk a little bit about Instagram on all of those. Okay, so here we go. Facebook ads, you can absolutely lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not paying attention. Sure. If your targeting is off, all of that.
Andrew, will we get these slides from you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Today though, these are just kind of statistics. So there's not a whole lot of reason to grab these, right? David, if you got a face for radio, then, create videos that are animated. Right. So we're going to talk about that. We'll get into some of these. Paul, on the individual trainings, the slides will probably be more, worthwhile. These today are just kind of statistics, and you guys can find these anywhere, right? When you're going to search out. So, okay. So here's what we're going to talk about first. We're going to talk a little bit about YouTube. Actually, I'm going to jump down. We're going to talk about Facebook. Because Facebook's the main one that we kind of use here. You get, templates for your profile on Facebook. Now, 2.74 billion active users. 2.74 billion active users. Do you guys understand how big that is? How many people do we have in the world right now?
Andrew?
Yes.
Can you go for 30 seconds back to LinkedIn?
I will. We're going. That was YouTube. I'm going to do LinkedIn. I'm going to hit all of them. I'm just starting with YouTube or with Facebook.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So we got somewhere between 7 and 8
Close
billion
to
people
7
worldwide,
billion.
right? Somewhere between 7 and 8 billion. Now, you got to remove China from that, right? You guys understand that, right? Because China doesn't allow Facebook. They have their own thing called WeChat. So now we're down, let's say, from 7.5 to minus 2 or 3. So now we're somewhere in the range of 5 to 6 billion, ballpark. And 2.74 billion monthly active users are on Facebook. Guys, so now we're talking between 30 and 40 something percent of the world's population. And then if you were to remove like very, very seniors and very, very young, we remove another 15 to 20% of the world's population. Like, that's how big this is. Okay. Now, Facebook is the number 3 thing on here. Facebook is the second most downloaded app, and Facebook Messenger is number 7. Why does that matter? Because that's Facebook as well, right? That's huge. And then when Instagram as well, I mean, you've got Facebook as a platform makes up a huge percentage of the social media downloads that you have in the world. TikTok's the only one that beats Facebook, and that's just because this last year TikTok was a huge thing. We're going to talk a little bit about that. They spend 34 minutes per day on the platform. 500 million people use Facebook stories. Does everybody know what Facebook stories are? Yes? Okay, does everybody know what Instagram stories are?
Stories on Instagram.
There you go. Stories on Instagram. All right. So Facebook stories and Instagram stories, they are a method that you can record a short video. So if you guys saw, or if you were here when I did the call with Darren, one of the things that he talks a lot about is that he uses stories on Facebook. So Facebook stories, Instagram stories, you can go on the platform, you can pull it up, and at the top of the screen, you can add a story or you can watch stories. Those are the little circle, like the profiles of people. Facebook, it looks a little bit different. Instagram, it's circles across the top. And when it's got that kind of rainbow color around it, it means that they've filmed a story, which is typically about a 15 to 20 second clip. Now, if you keep filming, you can do a 1 minute clip and it ends up being 4 stories, right? And you can watch those. Now, why is that important with Facebook? Because a lot of you guys, you're building out your profile, right? And you're adding in the templates and everything. So now we've talked a little bit about how Facebook isn't great with organic growth. They don't like it a whole lot, right? They just don't, because it means that you're not paying for it. But on the stories, it's at the top of the page if people are on the desktop. It's at the top of the page if people are inside their app. And you can see organic growth means that you're posting things and it's reaching them because it's connected to the type of content that they're looking for, right? Or you're posting in groups and things and people are seeing you, so they're organically starting to find you. So the stories would be, if I'm logged into Facebook on my app, these are stories across here, right? See across the top. Does everybody remember seeing these on their app, right? So all of these people have posted some kind of story. Now, there's different things that you can do with stories. You can do a video and film a video, you talking about something. You can repost your post. You can post a screenshot. You can post, a meme. You can post a picture. You could do somebody else's video. There's all sorts of different stuff. But what happens there, it's a great way to start your marketing, because if you're looking to create content, right? It's different from the regular content that you would post in the news feed. We got some people. V, are you there? Can you got a couple people in the waiting room, I think. Can you let them in? It's faster paced, so people are going to see it. The aspect ratio is a little bit different. You don't have as much text, but it's the first thing that people see when they log into their screen, right? So don't you want to be the first thing that people see? Because what did I talk about the other day? I think I showed you guys. I think I did.
Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So that anybody can do that story?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm pretty new to Facebook. I don't know much about it.
Yeah. Okay. People, anyone, and if you're following somebody, like if someone's following you, they can see that. So this is also where, if you're doing it from your personal page, you can post stuff there. Because if you guys remember, look, so this is my memory on Facebook. That was, something I posted. This is something Sierra posted. And then your second one is going to be, that's an ad. That's a sponsored ad, right? Every single one, you can do that right now. You can log in. The first one or two may be a memory or something that you did. Then there'll be a post. And then the second one is going to be an ad, right? Something that's sponsored for every single one of you. Typically, after that, if you're in certain groups, you're going to end up with, near the top, maybe not right away, but near the top, you're going to end up with, this is a post from a group that I'm following. This is a post from a group that I'm in, right? And then I've got, another post, another group, and then another paid ad, right? So whenever you see sponsored on Facebook, that means it's a paid ad. But at the very top of the page, before I even start scrolling, what do they have right there? That's where the stories are. So you're able to grab people's attention right at the very beginning. No, I'm not sharing. I'm showing from my phone, Michael. So that's what I'm holding up to the video, right? So you guys kind of see what I was doing, right? And you can look on your own app. You'll be able to find that. Just hop onto your phone and look. Oh yeah. Second thing that you see, second post is going to be an ad, and the stories are right at the very top. Any one of you can add stories. There's content that you would add there, right? So, David, if it's the Achilles heel, then you just say, instead of saying this is my weakness, this is my Achilles heel, all of you guys need to start saying that's what I'm learning right now. I'm going to start applying that right now, right? I'm going to start learning that. Oh, that's a brand new thing for me. I'm so excited I get to learn something new. Start looking at learning things differently, guys. That's one thing that a lot of you guys do. We keep saying, oh, this is, here's the reason that I'm struggling. Let me tell you what my struggle is. Quit doing that. Start looking at it as opportunities. All right. So back to YouTube. Power of YouTube. A lot of you guys are scared out of your mind on YouTube. That's okay. Knock it off. Your videos aren't going to be great at the beginning, but if you can start creating some videos and just start posting, then just start doing it. If you don't like being on video, if you don't like putting your face on there, then start doing, animated. Find someone on Fiverr that can do animated videos for you. Share your screen like this. There's all sorts of different ways that you can create a video and upload it. You can get on YouTube and look up how to create a good YouTube channel. How can I, there's so many different things out there that you can start with. You don't have to pay for a course with that. Just start doing it, right? Just look at the size of this. Total number of people on YouTube, 1.3 billion. 300 hours of video are uploaded every minute. Every minute, 300 hours are uploaded. Right? Yeah, you can do ads. Absolutely. It's fantastic. YouTube targeting works really, really well if you understand your target market. If you're not sure about your target market, go back and study some of that. Yes, sir.
Andrew, question for you. So in order for anybody to do the YouTube videos and things like that, they have to create their own YouTube channel?
If you're going to upload it, yeah. So you need a Gmail account, and then you can do it. That's all you need.
Well, how much is monthly that?
Free.
Nothing. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So 5 billion videos are watched every single day. 30 million visitors per day. Here's a great thing about YouTube. Average mobile viewing session lasts more than 40 minutes. More than 40 minutes. Right? 62% male, 38% female. Why does that matter? Because you should understand your target audience. If your business owners, that you guys are targeting business owners, if your business owners are mostly female, you can still find them. You just got to make sure that you target the right audience. That comes with hashtags and everything else. Yes, you do need to create a channel. Anyone can do it. You need a Gmail account to do it. If you don't have a Gmail account, open one up. It's absolutely free. Go on YouTube and say, how do I create a channel? Like it's pretty simple, guys. It really, if you have a Gmail account, you can open up a YouTube channel. It doesn't take anything.
The hard thing is to monetize it, right? Because
so monetizing a YouTube channel is a little bit different. Monetizing it, you need to get up to 1,000 followers. From there, you need to go past that, on and on and on, right? There needs to be a certain amount of hours spent watching, but you don't need that in order to generate revenue from YouTube, because I'm creating content to connect with my audience. The same reason I'm posting on my Facebook channel, the same reason I'm posting on my Instagram page, is because I'm creating content to connect with my audience, right? You can make a ton of money from 500 or 1,000 YouTube followers if they're actually following you for that content, and in your description you post your link and boom, right? Step by step. Does that make sense, guys? It starts somewhere, right? I'm giving you other options, and I want you to you make the decision based on where is my audience, or where can I reach my audience that I'm not currently reaching. And you can take a video that you post on YouTube and repost portions of it on Instagram. You can put pieces of it on your story on Facebook or Instagram. You can post it on LinkedIn. Like, you can reuse content.
So how do the people reach you from YouTube?
Organic or ads. Or you post it on your YouTube or on your Facebook and get them over there. At the beginning, just start building some content. Right now, I'll do some extra training here within the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn first. We're going to talk a little bit about YouTube, talk a little bit about Instagram. I'm not doing like 3-hour sessions with this stuff, but you can, we'll start to build it out. So would it be best to create a separate Gmail from my personal one? So it doesn't matter. The Gmail account that you use won't show up on your YouTube channel. That's just so you can log in. So whatever Gmail you use, because then you can name it. You can change the name. If you name it something, you can change it, right? There's all sorts of different stuff. The content is based on, you can go back, David, on some of the high performance calls that we've done on branding, direct response marketing, all that kind of stuff. Content is always based on what my audience wants, right?
Andrew.
Yes.
I have a question. Is the blueprint or the funnel that we are doing or being like somebody's done doing that for us and the accelerator compatible? I don't know if that's the word. I don't know. Well, because I'm new to all of this. So the funnel is just for Facebook. I know that you're giving us these options, but like, is there a way that we can, I don't know, like publish the funnel in those LinkedIn, YouTube? I don't know if you get
you post your link. Yeah, you just post your link. So on YouTube, in my description, I post a link. That's it.
Okay.
Right. Quick side note, everybody, because I just got this notice. Actually, you won't be able to read it. But occasionally you have issues with Facebook, right? As long as you do what you need to do and then ask them to review. So I just got, because I had one of my ad accounts that they shut down for no reason. It just kind of pissed me off. So it's been reinstated. I just saying that because it happens to everybody. Just change what you need to change and then you can get things fixed, right? So just saying that as a side note. David, what do you mean that Blake has products and services? You guys have products and you have the rights to resell the same things, right? The training for social media. Yeah. You've got, that's what you're selling, right? So you're but you're doing it on your funnel page, right? Does that make sense with everybody? So I'm on my YouTube, and in the description, I'm just going to post the link to my domain page, which has my funnel, which promotes the products that I have within this funnel that we've been talking about forever, right? So yeah, so the product will be relevant to all niches as long as you customize the funnel to your niche, right? Any questions on that, guys? So this is why, the great thing about, one of the reasons I love the partner program, one of the reasons I love what the funnel that Blake's created in these products is that, hey, here we've got all of this stuff. And as long as I customize it to talk to the type of business that I'm talking to, it works. So I'm going to use it for financial advisors. I'm going to use it for internet marketers. I'm going to use it for doctors. I'm going to use it for dentists. I'm going to use it for whoever. I can just modify this, and then the doctor's going to go, man, this was written just for me. That's how our brains work. And this is why I talk about personal development and reading books and doing all this stuff, is because you start to understand human behavior and psychology. How many of you guys have ever sat in any type of congregation religiously or a personal development talk? But it's just happens so often. I don't care what religion you are. You've sat down and you're listening to a head clergyman, and they're giving whatever sermon. And if you're in a religion, they don't call it a sermon, whatever. You're sitting and you're listening to a message, and you go, man, that message was for me today. Right? How many of you guys have had that experience? Man, I needed to hear that today. That is just like he was in my head. He knew exactly what I needed to hear.
In Spanish, we call that diosidencias, like coincidence from God.
Sí, una coincidencia. But he's talking directly to me, right? Yeah, Tony Robbins, all of these things. Man, you were in my head today. That's what you're doing with Blake's program, right? That's what you're doing. This works for any niche. You customize that little bit so they go, woo, Alex was talking directly to me today. Good grief. Man, he gets it. Now, I talked about on the branding direct response marketing, how you can pick up some of those things so that you can speak to them, because the more you speak their language, the more it's going to make sense to them. And then they start to connect and they go, I want to follow him more. I'm going to keep coming back because this guy's on point. Man, she really knows her stuff. It's the same thing, guys, right? I make little tweaks, and all of a sudden I'm speaking directly to you. And oh my goodness, right? It's not magic. It's just how our brains work. Okay. Here's what I love about YouTube. One of the things I love. Okay. Only 9% of businesses are on YouTube. 9%. That's it. As a business channel, now individuals that own businesses, much, much higher. This is why you have to understand who your target audience is. Because if you're going to run an ad or you're going to create a content, you're not going to do it and look up dentists. You've got to understand who that individual is. Now, the last thing, and I'm going to come back to that, 20% of people who will start a video leave after the first 10 seconds. Your intro better be spot on. It better be damn good. You can't fumble right out of the gate. It's got to be something to catch attention, right? So understanding your target audience when we're going after YouTube, does everyone understand the importance of that? Does that make sense, right? Because I can't just target based on businesses. I've got to target based on the individual. And the only way I can understand the individual is if I understand what type of person runs the business that I'm going after.
So Andrew, this will be basically sometime I do send to my client as well on the financial service industry, to anybody or any client. I do send them a video message as well, or video voicemail. If they, I have found, like, anytime I leave a voicemail to anybody on their phone, they might check it later on. But as soon as I send my video message, they check it right away.
Yeah.
Right.
People love video for sure.
When I do that, so that meaning on the Facebook, not the Facebook, YouTube, I can post a similar or same content.
I wouldn't post the exact same thing that you're going to do on, but you would post content that's like educational. Yeah. Right. Okay. Or stuff that's going on. Right. So you're creating content, documenting. It doesn't have to be always super planned. Sometimes, YouTube is more planned content. Instagram stories is more what's happening right now, right? Facebook stories, what's happening, what's going on, what are my thoughts right now? YouTube is more planned out content. It doesn't have to be, Aga had mentioned about kind of the studio setup she's got. You can find some of that stuff for cheap if you want to do that. But our phones nowadays, if you guys have an iPhone, and Android has similar stuff, but you can film and edit and create effects. Like, there's so many things that you can do. And if you're going, I don't know how to do that, let's just stop, right? I think all of us are kind of at the point where, the first thing I'm going to say is quit making excuses, learn it, right? And if that's a route you want to go, it's a way to do it. I'm just giving you other pathways to make money, guys. That's all I'm doing, right? Other pathways to get customers. And if you don't want to do it, then don't. That's okay. Look, do you guys understand the very top earner on YouTube over the last couple of years? He's not even 10 years old. And the kid's making more than $20 million a year. Yes, his parents are filming, but he's actively participating in that project. He knows what's going on. And he's made, over the last couple of years, look, guys, he's under 10 years old. He's generated now like something around the neighborhood of $40 million over the last couple of years. Is it worth it? Oh my gosh, I can't learn it. Now look, I haven't built up a huge YouTube channel, and I generated some revenue from YouTube because from posting videos and then links in there and how I've utilized it in other, funnels and other things. Yes. Have I done that? No, but I'm also not complaining about not doing it. Right. And I know you guys aren't, at least not actively, but maybe in your heads, or maybe somebody that's watching the recordings can say, oh, but I can't. Well, okay. But the opportunity is there, right? If you take advantage of it. Right, guys? All I'm trying to do is give you other pathways to take and build your Ryan something. I don't know. It's like Toys with Ryan. Let me see. YouTube.
Unboxes a toy every day.
Yeah, he unboxes a toy. Okay, his net worth, I'm sorry, guys. His net worth is only $32 million. My bad.
Only $32 million.
Meh. Pre-tax income 2019, pre-tax $26 million. Pre-tax income 2020, $29.5 million. pre-tax. Pre-tax income over the last 2 years, $56 million. People start sending me toys. I'll unbox them. I'll film it for you. Does Facebook market in my local area versus I would go nationwide? Your local area is probably not going to be big enough unless you have like a local restaurant that you're trying to do. So, all right. Yeah, just look up. So Ryan Kaji, Kaji. Just a cool story. I mean, just look at some of the top paid YouTube stars. Some of them, like some of them are doing, I don't know, it's crazy. I'm just trying to point out how crazy some of this stuff is, guys. Okay, LinkedIn, real quick. I'm going to do more in-depth LinkedIn later in this week, so I'm going to go quick here. So number of active users, I saw everywhere from 640 up to like 690 million users. So somewhere in there, right? 30 million companies. But the great thing about LinkedIn is they are there for business. This is a cool thing. Each connection that you make introduces you to an average of 400 new people. That's a lot. And 100 new companies just from connections. That's not even marketing through LinkedIn. That's simply connecting with people. Post engaging and informative content on LinkedIn. That's what you should be doing. Engaging and informative. 55% of decision makers use the content to determine which organization to work with, which means they will look at your ad and check out your page and look at the content to decide if they want to buy what you've got. And you'll be able to put the link for your funnel in your ad or on your page, right? I generated, I'd say a number of my digital agency clients last year came through LinkedIn. More than enough revenue for my ROI. Like I generated more revenue off of LinkedIn last year than I used to make in a year doing carpet cleaning when I first started with my father-in-law. Absolutely worth it. Right? So I'm going to get more in depth with LinkedIn later this week. So any quick questions on LinkedIn? And good ideas for social media posts, but I struggle with feeling like I should be doing a theme for the week. No, quit. Just post. Michelle, just post. Quit worrying about having to make it a full theme. The overall effect, images, etc. So you don't want to bounce around and do like dog here and then super serious here and then this and that. Like you want it to be consistent. Hell, make every post about dogs and marketing. Just do that. Like your dog's marketing advice. Maybe you're working with vets and do that. Like, I'd hold up Winston and dress him up and be like, Winston says today, Winston's tip of the day. Like find ways to do that, guys. You absolutely can. There's some,
that would be fun. My daughter's done some things with the dog. Like she put up her own little channel for our dog.
Yeah.
And she's got all these likes and everything. It's just cute.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do that and build up whole pages. Go on Instagram and look. There are some dog pages with millions of followers. Absolutely. So any quick questions about LinkedIn? I'm going to spend more time later this week talking about it, but anybody have any quick questions on LinkedIn?
Very quick question.
Yeah.
Very quick question, because I'm very reluctant for LinkedIn, and purely because my story is a little bit like a cliche immigrant story. So boom, I land in a country with FO, the typical immigrant jobs. Then during this time, go to college, and I didn't really take any office jobs, although I could, because I knew anytime I was applying, I was just like, damn, this is not my path. So I know, for example, some people are snobbish. Should I just basically focus on put more emphasis on my college years and previous trainings, not to look like an idiot, because my college is linked to marketing and business.
Right. Well, it depends on. So it's just like a resume, guys. If I don't have, people sometimes use LinkedIn too much as a resume. You've got to look at it as I'm setting up my marketing profile. Right. And you can essentially write in anything you want. You're not trying to get hired for a job. Okay. I mean, you guys show up. I mean, let's be real. How many of you guys have wondered, like, I don't have a college degree. Has that mattered? Right. I haven't had anybody email and be like, well, I came to the high performance call and I kind of enjoyed it. But when you said you didn't have a degree, I'm not coming anymore. Right? Like, and I mean, if you do, that's okay. That's your prerogative. But you're, you know, on LinkedIn, I'm not going after people that are looking at me to find out my college degree. I want to be able to provide the content that helps them make a decision that my marketing training that I've got in my funnel is worth it for them. And it's worth it for them because I understand their business. And I can prove that I understand their business by the content that's there. Right. So
I finished it after 30 more because I was like, fuck you, everybody, excuse my French. Like kind of adds credibility, but everybody knows that reality teaches you more than this. So
yeah, if you're using it to find a job, absolutely, you need the resume to set up the right way.
I finished it more because I wanted to achieve that, because it was something that was impossible to finish a university/college in an English-speaking country, and actually it slightly pushed me in a different direction. But so like.
Yeah, so there's a number
for me.
There's different ways to build. So when we do LinkedIn, I'll talk a little bit about how to build up your credibility, how to write out a profile, even if that's not where your background is. Okay, so we'll show how to do that a little bit. The key with LinkedIn, guys, is understanding your target audience. The key with all of these platforms, every single one, is you've got to understand your target audience, right? And know, are the individuals that are in the business that I'm targeting, are they on these platforms? And if they are, great, go after them. And if they're not, don't. And it's the only thing that matters. Okay. So next, real quick, Instagram. Over 1 billion people. Instagram has stories as well. Absolutely fantastic way to market there. You can run ads inside of stories in Facebook and Instagram too. It's looking at it, Instagram ranks high, but so you have Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, WeChat, and then Instagram. So WeChat is China's version of a social media platform. So that's where, and then looking at, so of the top 6, Facebook, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram, all owned by Facebook, right? So 140 million US users, 8% increase over Q3 means that they're still growing. 43% of women in the US are on Instagram versus 31% men. So versus YouTube, right? Which was kind of the flip. But this is, again, understanding your target audience. Right. So if I'm going after contractors, the reality is most contractors are men. Yes, I know, stereotypical, blah, blah, blah. There's a reason stereotypes exist. I don't care. I'm a marketer. I'm trying to find my target audience. Right. Estheticians. Not many estheticians are men. Right. So if I'm looking for the female, you got to understand where your target audience is going to be. 30 minutes a day is a lot of time on a platform. 200 million Instagram users visit one business profile daily. That's a lot, guys. You don't need a huge piece of that market to start to build something up, right? And if you're developing your content in a way where it doesn't seem like you're a business, now that much better, because I can build my relationship. Real quick. I'm sharing some TikTok statistics. I get on TikTok once in a while to look at funny videos. If I really just, as I'm walking the dogs in 2 minutes to just kind of let my mind go, great. But it's not, the coolest thing that I liked was this. Just 4% of social media marketers use the platform, which means it's brand new to marketing. And I've got some friends that are doing well using it. Now, it's absolutely like it's you creating videos. You got to be willing to get in front of the camera with it, right? And you got to create something that's super engaging, but it's also pretty personal. So this was the other crazy part. 52 minutes per day on the app. Instagram was 30. That's almost an hour every day, guys. Man, that's a lot. You also have to look at 50% of the global audience is under 34. That also means that 50% is over 35. That's not a bad, sometimes they're like, oh, that's so young. Well, yeah, but on the flip side, did you guys understand that? 50% are over the age of 34. That's a lot. That's a huge market. When you're looking at hundreds of millions of people, that means all of you guys. How many? Does anybody on here on TikTok? Anybody? Really?
Yes,
Nobody.
I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok.
There you go. Now, the crazy thing is all of these users, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50%, 55% actually post videos. Like I mentioned, I'm on TikTok. I've never posted a video. I always get on, and I've got some marketers that I follow. I got some kind of news personality. Like, there's a handful of things that I follow, and that's what I'm on there for, right? I like it because I like following the marketers and seeing what they're doing. I'm not doing it yet because I've decided where my target audience is. I know my niche, my target audience may not be on YouTube or on TikTok, right? The addiction recovery clinics, like the directors, probably not finding them there. Doctors and higher end managers, maybe not as much. But understanding who your target audience is, because some of you have a target audience that would be there.
Gary Vee talks about TikTok a lot.
It's a great way, TikTok, Twitter. I mean, there's a number of guys. The point of all of this now, if you're doing network marketing, internet marketers, online marketers, people like that, absolutely great platform. Understand where your target audience is. The point of this today, guys, and I'm going to get in. So later this week, we're going to do, probably since it's Wednesday, so Friday, I'm going to do some LinkedIn training. Next week, we'll pick either Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, and I'll kind of add those in over the next couple of weeks. The point of this is just to show you how big this is, how big social media is, and the fact that there are multiple ways to build your brand. There are many ways to create content for your audience. There are a lot of ways to reach them. You can run paid ads on every one of those platforms that I just talked about, and you can reach your audience tomorrow. You can create content that will eventually connect to an audience, and it may take weeks or months to do that. No, it's opposite, David. Ads, I can get in and I can straight up sniper with ads if I wanted. I can run an ad if I wanted, targeting in North America, men that are above the age of, or between the ages of 30 and 65, or adults between the ages of 30 and 65. And I can put in a handful of things, and I can probably put an ad in front of the majority of you on Facebook or Instagram within the next 48 hours if I wanted to. How much are Facebook ads? As much as you want it to be. That's the thing about ads. You can start at $5, and we've talked about, I'll get more in depth with some of this stuff. There is some training in the dashboard. There's more training with Accelerator, obviously. And then you have access to coaching and things, but it can be as little as $5 a day. And then we've got some members in the partner program that are spending $150,000 a month on ads because they're generating a profit margin. So why not? As long as you make a profit, what does it matter? Right? There's so many different ways to do this, right? You can start from little. I would start on your page, on your Instagram page, Michelle, I would start with your name, and then you put your business name below it, but I would start with you. If you want to start another page that's the business as well and then connect them, that's fine. All of this starts with nothing, guys. A lot of you are like, oh, I haven't done this. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. Okay, then do it. Or don't. It's up to you. We all start with 0 followers on any platform. And then all of us can get to 2 or 3 or 6 pretty quick because we've all got family or friends. Hey, just follow me. You don't even have to watch stuff. Just follow me, right? Get started. But you start.
So Andrew, are you saying like we could all put, like, for my example, be Michelle King, and then can you put a comma, like say Thriving Resources, and put it in your personal page?
I'll do some training on Instagram.
Okay.
And Facebook.
Because that's my thing. I get stuck in the logistics going, well, I'm going to start this off. I want to make sure I do this right. So I don't have to backtrack. So it's held me up from doing stuff.
Don't. Just start. And if you have to change it, you change it. That's it. Just start it.
Okay.
Knock it off.
Got it.
Quit talking to yourself like that. So you do, and I know this isn't the best picture. I'll show this better when we actually do Instagram training. but you've got your name and your image, and then below that you've put in a few things. And then like if I had, like occasionally if you can put a link in there, a bit.ly link, so it takes you over to whatever, or you could put in your regular, name or domain name or whatever. So
right. Yeah, I played around with that part a little bit, but yeah, it was just knowing how to structure it. So I kind of get mixed up between all this. Okay,
you want to just, if you're going to create a brand, you want it to be fluid. So your pictures, you want to be, pick I'll get into it with Instagram training. We pick a similar filter, color scheme, blah, blah, blah. There's all sorts of different ways to do it. So platforms here's the thing about what platform is the best ROI. So, because I get that question a lot. What do you guys think my answer will be? If you ask what is the best platform for ROI, what would my answer be? What's the real answer for anybody? Facebook, results, depends. Yeah, GB, there you go.
I guess you try whatever works for you. If you're getting organic traffic and then, hey, you tried that. So you're not going to stick to one and see where your numbers are coming from and track them and then go from there.
Yeah, it depends. So Facebook's great for targeting, but it may not be the best ROI based on, listen, again, this works exceptionally. You can get a positive ROI on Facebook with this. This is what it's built on. But long-term, we're looking long-term, guys. So there's a difference in, a 2-week, a 30-day outcome and something over the course of a couple of years, right? There's a big difference. Where is my target audience? Because I can use a link to take them to my funnel from any platform, any one of them, all of them, right? So I need to find where my audience is. And then I need to pick not just the best one, but the best several. With the understanding that in a year or 2 or 6 months or 5 years or whatever, the best platform may change based on a whole lot of factors. We have to be able to adapt, right? Because the opportunity is going to keep growing all over the place. On that note, guys, we've been on for a while. I just wanted to kind of open your eyes, hopefully, to a few things. Join us tomorrow for live and exciting content. Same bat time, same bat channel. Guys, go out, have an amazing day, do some study, make this day better than yesterday. And appreciate you. Have a good day, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.